different areas of the map, and
I like
would
it.
still work out for
Yeah,
them.
somehow I like it.
Yeah, it's how do I call it? It's like organized chaos. The lineup for LPE. It's chaotic, but you
Very.
see the sense in it.
And if it becomes chaotic, if the fights become chaotic, it's going to be favoring LPE even more.
Yeah.
With this lineup that we have here. So I hope you guys are ready. This is either going to be super fast
Yeah.
in favor of LPE or super fast in favor of Empire Monarch, because lineups like this can really fall quite quickly.
Yeah, even the Brody, I guess, would be, out of all the heroes, would be the best to really deal a lot in the late game. The Isan Shin will still hurt in the late game, but it's something that you don't feel as much as the Brody, where the Brody's instant, it's like, bang, bang, and then suddenly he's just whittling down health like real quickly. Meanwhile, Isan Shin takes some time, but as team fights drag out, that's when you really start feeling the damage of the
Yeah,
YSS.
I mean, the moment that you don't notice where the Yi Senshin is, if he's always missing, that's the time that it's scariest.
Yeah.
Because that means they can erupt into a fight anytime, and those are the moments where you gotta really start hunting him down. Because if you don't hunt down the Yi Senshin, it usually does result into a really, really bad scenario for your team. And of course, the Yi Senshin is giving his teammates info as well with Mountain Shocker while he's farming, so you got to get started on the hunt as soon as possible, especially with a lineup like this. They probably can.
Aspect is going to be playing the jungle carry role with this Lancelot, and Jake the Dog is going to be holding down the gold lane with his Brody. It's Empire Monarch versus LPE. Again, it's the lower bracket, so whoever loses this goes home, and whoever wins this match is going to be facing Aether Main in the lower bracket semis. As both teams right now just trying to get a good rotation going in for their junglers. Don't see any big plays being made here. Maybe the Jawhead, if he feels confident with the combination with Varys Farsa, they can get a burst damage lock-in as well as the ejector setup, maybe, but he's the one in a bit of a scrap there with Arvs' low Yi.
Yeah, Arvs is definitely going to have a fun time here again with the low Yi. He's going to have more freedom, and his only threat is Very, which is always super busy clearing up the minion waves. So as long as he keeps his distance from the minion waves, he should be fine. He won't get collateral damage, and you can just spam out these disruption skills that Loyi has.
And Aspect, only about to hit level 4. Arlag should be good as well. There in the bottom side, we might be able to see a bit of a skirmish here in the bottom side, as that's where both the carries are. It's a 3 versus 3 situation there in the bottom lane. Oh, this could be bad.
Rotate, man.
Let's see who'll take it. There goes the Mountain Shocker. The damage of the stun. BMO has been deleted, forced to go back. Aspect as well. Too much burst damage coming in from the side of Empire Monarch. LPE have been forced to go back home.
And this is the issue. Like, you got a lot of damage, but where's your crowd control? Man, you can't fight straight off without crowd control. That's what makes tanks, that's what makes support so good, is that they can kind of tilt the team fight in their favor early on without needing items. You just need the skills.
Yeah.
And if your crowd control is non-existent, you don't have the skills, you're going to get out-damaged early on by the teams that does have those effects. However,
ambush going here to the turtle. It's going to be a fight for the turtle right now. Feather Airstrike connects the damage onto Arvs, but that's going to be taken away by Aspect. Arlac couldn't secure it in. That's going to be a kill for Empire Monarch, but a turtle for LPE.
First blood, and turtle will kind of equalize the goal a little bit. Aspect gets what he wants, and since they did kind of do a sacrifice for the turtle. That's a 1-for-1 for sure. By the way, since they did sacrifice for the turtle, he has to make it worth it, right?
He has to make a play with this, but a play is what we just saw between Ambush and Ryota in the top lane, trading for one another, so no advantage there. Should be a question of who can get back to managing their lanes quicker. Tough Boots, just picked up now by Jawhead, could help with the control that LPE, the little control that they have, which is the combination of the low Yi, and their next dependable stun would either be from the Brody or, of course, BMO's Way of the Dragon or Jeet Kune Do.
Actually, most of this is probably for magic resistance, right?
Yeah, that too.
That's what you want to do it. Get torn apart memory, not really getting making their mark. A little bit of Mount Shocker here just to see where the enemy is, and gives very an extension, just a little bit more setup.
Yeah, really close call there for Bull with torn apart memory almost taking him down as extension. Oh man, let's see if he can extend this long enough or he'll even try to defend it. And that's going to be a 4-man dive into the bot side tower to get control there. Meanwhile, the top lane, there goes Electo final blow. Arlak gets caught out.
Ryota.
That's going to be first death for the carry of Empire Monarch. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, it's going really well here for LPE. But they do lose Jake the Dog and they only take Bullwit and only got to take a little bit of the health of that energy shield in the bottom.
Yep, and they think they're not done yet. They do have the minion waves, but Extension makes sure that they can't push right away. Throws the tank all the way back to the bush, and they're going to be able to at least kind of slow it down. So, Empire Monarch defense is happening, and again, they're trying to buy time for Ubas and Arlak to really get farmed up. Although, of course, without the turtle buff, it doesn't hurt that much. And he's slowed down by a big percentage. And who's getting accelerated? That's Aspect.
In terms of the rotations, actually the timings, they're somewhat there, but then it's Aspect who's been getting the turtles and another kill for
My God.
him. Make that 2 already for Aspect. A great play and combination by Arvs and BMO there.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Just like clockwork. It's like it was rehearsed like 100,000 times, man. That was just beautifully done. So smooth. No time wasted in taking out the target.
I was like near the edge of the rotation and then just hugging it near the wall because the experience of Arvs knowing that that's where I think that was Bullwit who wanted to stay close to the wall there. Great play by LPE, and that's what we need to see more of here by Empire Monarch. But of course we can't count them out because they are keeping this game close. They're able to match the rotation and the movement here of LPE, Rockhard.
Yeah, they are making it work, making the LPE players at least kind of sweat a little bit, right? It's not like an all-out stomp yet. Although all the buffs are going to the Lancelot, which we've seen historically not pretty for the enemy team of that Lance.
Jake the Dog is going to get bursted down. That's bad news for LPE as they need to back it out. They do have 2 cores though, so Aspect is there if ever they want to take a fight, but then LPE, the discipline in their eyes saying, you know what? Don't want to lose anymore. It's way too risky.
Yep, way too risky indeed. So they want to go in a little bit safer on this one. Ray Ejector Arbs is low and will be able to get rid of by attention. However, BMO is not done. His Cho is still trying to see if he can get a kick or 2 in. He'll be able to make it out alive. Will he with the Hurricane Eye? Yes.
Woo!
Cyclone Eye will be able to get him out of harm's way, although the damage has been done.
Great play there by BMO, utilizing the mobility of the Cho to walk into that speed boost, able to dash through the wall. A really close call, and that is going to keep LPE close here as Empire Monarch. We said that it's going to be an uphill battle, but it seems like it's more even field right now. It's now Arlak finally gets to secure a turtle for himself.
There you go.
And Empire is taking it to LPE, telling all of us, yeah, we may be the underdogs, but that doesn't mean we're going to make it look like a stomp. We're going to fight it out. And right now, we can say that they're winning because they've already broken 1 tower.
Yeah, big tower take there. And of course, the turtle is huge here for Ubasan Arlak.
And Jake the Dog is going to farm up a little bit more there. And Empire going to wait it out, find the positioning, get the info with the Mountain Shocker. 80 seconds till the Lord spawns. One of these teams are going to make for a play, maybe a pick-off somewhere in a part of the map just so they get a little bit more advantage.
Yeah, and of course, Ryota with Bullwit, it's not a fair fight. Ryota has to just clear it and get out. You can't really take down the Esmeralda, which is the reason why it's just such a powerful pick. Always in the ban phase, but we got a bit of a distraction happening here.
And now that's going to be the Feathered Airstrike raining in. -1. Extension goes down. Here comes Ambush with the Black Dragon form. He could get a double kill here if he plays it right. But he gets stunned by the Brody. And the control with a Shaw Essence takes the Brody down. That's only 1 kill for Ambush. It could have been a double kill. It could have been really terrible for LPE. But they were able to kite the Yuzong enough. Now Aspect could be up next. No?
Sub in.
Oh, great
Switcheroonie.
play. Great sense there by BMO to show up to stop Ubasa and Arlak from chasing down Aspect. LPE were able to play that fight right, but they're still behind in gold.
Yeah, they're still behind, absolutely, because right now, Empire Monarch, they're losing out on some members, but again, all of this is just from them trying to get the advance. I mean, before you lose the advantage, you're actually Emperor Monarch is actually quite in the lead there on the top side. So a little bit of sour gaming, but that's fine.
Sour gaming indeed, but let's see who's gonna come up with a sweeter play here as it's a fight for the turtle. That's gonna be secured by Arlag. The fight is on. Black Dragon form is out again. Jake the Dog's really low. They're going after him. Gets burnt down by the low Yi. But Arms is able to control 3 members of Empire Monarch. Not able to help out that Yuzong enough. That's gonna be a kick onto Bimo. Ryota as well with the damage, clearing up the minion waves. But LPE will not fight anymore. Empire Monarch win again. And it seems like the underdogs are playing this game much better now in the 9th minute mark, getting close to 10. They're taking the fight to the Eagles.
2,000, make that 4,000 almost gold lead in favor of Empire Monarch, really shoving LPE down into their towers. I would say I'm super impressed. I didn't think that Empire Monarch could accumulate this kind of lead against LPE, but again, I mentioned over and over again the importance of having crowd control in your lineup, which is sorely lacking from LPE here.
Yeah, and it's not even like sure crowd control. Yeah, you have a Way of the Dragon, a bit of a stun from the Brody, but then compared to the crowd control that Empire Monarch can bring out with their lineup there, definitely they're the one with an advantage.
Yeah, literal AoE knockup. We got ejector single target, displacement as well. Not to mention, again, crowd control can be, and the damage that's given by a Farsa, it's very difficult for them to actually execute what they're trying to do with this damage comp.
Jake the Dog, though, is the insurance policy of LPE, but he's not had a good game this whole time. 0-4-3. That's more a testament to Empire Monarch respecting the lineup of LPE, knowing that, okay, if we can delay Jake the Dog's farm as much as possible, we can bring it to the point where we're such in the lead that he won't even be able to come back.
Yeah, and that's what they want to do right now. Again, there's a lot of late game power, to be fair, for LPE.
Yeah.
But can they reach that? Again, there's some sort of late game here for Empire Monarch with that, of course, obviously, when you have a Yi Sun-Shin, that's already a given late game.
Yeah.
But you also have, of course, the Esmeralda, which does do good pretty much in every phase of the game. So they kind of have to... You can try to play for late game. You can try to reach 20 minutes, but don't expect LPE to not have a don't expect Emperor Monarch to not have a fight.
Yeah, and the fight is going to break out here by the Lord as a feathered airstrike gets popped. No one full commits at the fight just yet, as Ryota is way too busy as to manage the lane as to where Bullwhip is pushing. Those two laners have just been at it the entire game. Their only job is to split push. It's essentially a 4 versus 4 in the dead lane in other parts of the map. Empire Monarch was able to take the Lord down to like 30%, but doesn't commit to it. But Ryota, man, he's having a hard time against that Esmeralda now. He just keeps getting forced back home to regen, going up against Bullwhip.
That's not really something you want to do, man. You want to be able to be self-sustaining as an Esmeralda. You're not supposed to keep backing off over and over again, losing out on that experience, all that gold. But for now, and they are feeling very happy with their lead. Lord should be close.
They will be able to take him without a problem. That's going to be the Lord slain by the YSS. Ryota now is going to get spotted out here. The Benedetta, he has a mobility to get away, but the stuns, there's too much control there. I like to find a blow. They're going to eat a bit of it, but they're not able to give enough room. And now Extension diving in a little bit too deep. LPE is waiting to pull the trigger, but they do not. They play conservatively. The information is there from the Mountain Shocker. LPE forced to go back home and try to defend this Luminous Lord.
Yeah, LPE, definitely they are just playing passively. Even there were a few moments where there were a few openings where they could have gone in, but they're just playing not to die. They just want to reach that 20-minute mark, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
And now we're reaching just the 15-minute mark. So that's what, 5 minutes that LPE has to somehow hold on against this lineup. It's a tall task for them. Now it's them that has a mountain to climb against Empire Monarch. The Lord going in down there, and I think Empire Monarch smells blood, and they want to end this now. That's going to be the displacement onto ours. There's a lot of damage that's going to be lost into LPE. They lose a low Yi. BMO with the kick, way too deep in the back, and now Empire Monarch takes out the Brody this time. Jake the Dog Artson gone. BMO gone as well,
way.
and that's going to be 2 members left. Empire Monarch might be able to secure the first game win. They will be. Only 2 left to defend, and Empire Monarch surprising us all, taking the game 1 win away from
Monarch over LPE, man. And it wasn't just a victory, it was clean.
Yeah, very, very clean. And I think what we saw is just this Empire Monarch is a different team that went up against Archangel. I think they woke up now.
What happened
after
there?
what
Like
happened.
earlier was like a different story altogether. They were like, these guys are, what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
And now what did they do? I mean, again, part of it is on that draft. I mean, it really looked like LPE was too greedy for their own good in this one.
Yeah, and Empire, just knowing what's strong for them, definitely making this work. And now I think we have to say that this isn't an uphill battle for them to climb. I think it's just an even fight that we're seeing.
Yep.
Maybe even now it's LPE that has an uphill mountain to climb because they have to make this a 2-1 if they want to make it in. Meanwhile, Empire Monarch, it seems like they're thriving in the setup where they know that I think reality, they just got reality checked. Like, guys, we might be eliminated here. We want to make it
one
into
game
the
and they
MPL.
could be eliminated.
Yeah.
That's not a good feeling at all. This, don't forget, guys, this is lower bracket. So 1 down, you're out. And that's not a good way to, not a good call at all for LPE. I feel like, man, someone should kind of fix that draft, man.
Yeah.
It was super greedy. It could have worked if they got some early kills, which they didn't really. They were playing passively for a majority of that game, trying to get, again, waiting for their power spikes, which normally you could do. You can wait for the power spikes a little bit, but in that situation, they shouldn't have. They should have just played it so sour.
Yeah.
They should have went, even though I just feel like, oh my god, Midnight's going to have a field day with this one.
Yeah, he likes analyzing and dissecting these Lancelot plays. And Aspect, I feel like there were a lot. Yeah, there were a lot of moments where he seemed like he was waiting for a good moment when he really should have just done what you suggested, which is to just go in, you're a Lancelot.
Just go in.
Yeah, but that's our take. I'm sure our analyst here, Midnight, has more to say about that game. Again, it's game 1 going to Empire Monarch.
Thank you so much, casters, and that is true. This time around, naging aggressive ang Empire, pero that is within the conditions that they have, no? And na-meet naman nila yung criteria doon. Once again, this is Midnight, your resident analyst for today. And importante, actually, yung ginawa ng Empire Monarch, no? It's a testament and it's a lesson for today. When you are the late game lineup, you should take trades as much as possible. Huwag mo nga hayaan yung early game lineup na kinukuha lang lahat ng pwede nila makuha without getting anything. And yun yung result ng hindi pag-contest ng trades. Rather, get the trade, get as much trade as you can. Makikita natin sa highlights mamaya, pero syempre pag-usapan muna natin yung mga items ng mga players dito. No? Now, the reason why they were able to contest LPE on the early game, it's because of the item selection on the heroes. Tama si Manjin, yung sustain ang inuna nila dito. And interestingly, yung Benedetta at Yuzong matchup, actually lamang na lamang si Benedetta dyan. Just for the sole reason na yung ginagawa ni Yuzong on that lane is na-eliminate ni Benedetta. Kasi as much as possible, you'd want to be contesting a hero. Pero si Benedetta ang ginagawa is kiniklear lang yung wave ni Yuzong. Now, the item selection of Yuzong here is very, very important. After the Bloodless Axe, immediately going straight for the Antique Keras and Queen's Wings. He's able to sustain himself during these fights against LPE. Now, the reason why this is very important is because of the fact that ang kailangan lang naman ng Empire dito is yung gap close against the heroes of LPE. And if they're able to do that, suddenly yung damage output bigla nila ay mare-reduce ng sobra-sobra. Even the Brody and the Lancelot will feel the reduction of damage from the side of Empire Monarch. That's the reason why they were able to at least contest and trade on the early parts of the game. Na makikita natin dito sa highlights, no, na ipa-play out natin dito sa screen. Very important to realize that LPE, we're still the ones that are pushing the aggression against Empire Monarch. But if you look at the map, they always find trades. Ito sa may top lane, no? Si Ubasan, Arlak, mapapatay siya actually ng Benedetta. Bottom lane, LPE decides to go for another play. Again, LPE yung nagdidictate kung saan yung pressure. But look at this. They always look for trades. Alam nila kapag mahina yung kalaban nila, and that's the time that they go in. And very important yung duo ni Farsa at ni Johed dito, no? Keeping the heroes locked down on the side of LPE. Specifically, Jake the Dog. That's the primary target. And the main mistake of LPE was that every time that Empire Monarch fights, wala si Lancelot. And makikita niyan for the most part sa may mapa, no? Usually, kapag lumalaban yung Empire Monarch, wala yung Lancelot. It's not because LPE decides not to, but because Empire Monarch is just so good at collecting information. Kung alam nila kung lalaban may kalaban nila at hindi. And yun yung mga windows na binabasag ng Empire Monarch. Compared to their previous games, no? Empire Monarch were clearly just doing the strategy as the same as teamwork is employing, no? Firm lang up until the point na kaya na nating lumaban. But sabi nga nila dito, okay, dinurot tayo ng Archangel kanina, let's switch things up. Tayo naman yung magdala ng aggression kapag kaya natin, and the aggressor or the side of Empire Monarch is Extension. Now, this Johed has been clearly mad from their previous series. Lahat ng makita niya, binabato niya. Lahat ng pwedeng target, pinupuntahan niya. Even Jake the Dog felt the presence of the Johed. Every single time that they see potential pickoffs, they go for it. Why? They have a Farsa, they have a Yi Shin, and they have a Yuzong. These three heroes are really good at teamfight. Tandaan natin, nung lumabas tong meta na to, no, yung Farsa and Yi Shin, those two heroes were the most contested ones. Dagdag mo pa dyan yung layer ng teamfight ni Yuzong. Then suddenly, if you are active, or if you're online, and if you want a teamfight, you are able to do so. Kasi itong tatlong heroes ito, sobrang lalakas talaga sa ginagawa nila. And that is where LPE's weakness is actually, pummeled through by Empire Monarch. Let's see if kaya nilang bumawi sa Game 2, kung makakapag-adjust sila against Empire Monarch, or will we see another advancement from the side of Empire. Casters, back to you.
Extension with that Michael Jordan Space Jam-esque extension MVP performance on that Jawhead. That pickoffs, those pickoffs that he was able to make were really crucial here. But I think this was just a great overall teamwork win here.
Yeah.
By Team SV.
And no one was really like the star player at this point. I mean, we need to have an MVP, obviously, but the whole team really did their jobs.
Yeah.
Again, Midnight was talking about how people on LPE side were kind of they had a different, what do you call this? They had a different focus.
Yeah.
Right? Different focus here for different parts of the map. Aspect was just not playing well on the lands for the most part. After he lost the buff, it felt like he was just playing to catch off people who were not really low HP. He was waiting for people to go low, especially in that last clip. They're waiting for people to get low HP, but no one was going low because he was the main damage source.
Yeah. Not enough damage coming in from the side of LPE. Again, Jake the Dog was just completely punished here. And I like how Midnight pointed out the sort of similarities that we saw from, that we can see from Empire Monarch and Teamwork or World Challenger, wherein they all know what they need to do as individuals, and then as a group when they're fighting, and how they handle the team fights here. It shows in the amount of deaths in the side of LPE, especially the cores, where they could not get any momentum going on because there was just so much disruption coming in from Empire Monarch.
And after that, we are heading into this game number 2 draft. Will they go for something similar here? And I don't think Midnight mentioned that, but again, LPE really did have a pretty greedy draft. I have to really pummel that point down because a lot of them wanted to carry. I feel like a lot of them wanted to do the damage. They got the Brody, they got that. It was just the wrong place at the wrong time for me. Anyway, done with that. We are heading into the draft. No Mafilda, and finally they remembered to ban the Selena, which could have been really threatening as well earlier. Imagine if there was a Selena there.
Yeah.
Would have been a completely different story instead of the Lo Yi.
Yeah, you would have gotten the information, which is something that Midnight mentioned was working well for Empire.
Would have been the counter to the Lancelot.
Yeah.
With the Jawhead,
With the Jawhead.
rather, right? You won't be able to hunt down people. The Jawhead's gonna be so scared of going into the bushes because of possible traps. You also always have to watch out for the arrow.
Yeah.
And again, Selena was a bit of a miss earlier. Whoever decided, we're gonna highlight Selena. No, Lo Yi.
Yeah.
Instead, that was a mistake. Whoever decided that, big mistake. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, because right now it is going to be banned out alongside the Forza.
Yeah, Empire Monarch now will take away the Esmeralda and the Natalia. They might consider taking out still a lot of options, but the Claude, so they don't want to give that to LPE, either to Jake the Dog or Aspect. So, again, a lot of picks are going to be open here. The Sylvana and that one. Benedetta is available for Yota. Doesn't have to worry that much now about the Esmeralda messing up his ability to rotate.
Yep. And again, LP is still very happy to pick up the Benedetta for a good reason. To be fair, Benedetta earlier could have gone better. The Benedetta could have done really, really well. If only, again, I don't want to repeat it anymore. They had better crowd control. The damage out was pretty good. I gotta say, damage out from Ryota playing on the Benedetta, he was getting a lot of solo kills.
Yeah.
He's getting solo kills, which is very good for Benedetta. On the other hand, though, Empire Monarch, they're still happy to go with that Jawhead since it wasn't banned out. And, of course, with the Harif.
Yeah, if I were on LPE right now, just bring out the YSS at this point, because you need to get that Mountain Shocker info. Yeah, we've seen YSS come out in the first banning phase. I mean, I know how teams usually would want to save their carries or their cores for the latter parts, but yeah, they're already hovering over the 1-1. It seems like that's what they're going to get first. And
not bad.
It's still the Benedetta and Loi available here for LPE, but they take the 1-1 instead.
Did we see any good diversions earlier from Loi?
Diversion plays, no. Only just the first and the second.
First and second, yeah.
Not so much for the teleports.
I feel like I missed. That's something that probably could have worked very well. I mean, at the next half, LPE was a little bit, they needed to really play passively, I guess. In the first half, they could have gone a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is what I think Midnight was referring to. That SV, they were the ones who were aggressing. That was funny. Anyway, on to the next one. Are we thinking about a Yuzhong? Probably. Could be Lapu Lapu and... okay, not really side laner I was expecting.
Yeah. Still
but
a safe choice,
it's still a safe choice. I always say, Khalid, when in doubt of your side laner, just go with the Khalid. Works on so many roles. Can go tank, can go side lane healer, sustain heal, can go basically ham with the execute, which of course we always see anyway right now. So that's gonna be their option. And for SV, I still think that we've seen them play Harif, not as well though. Who played Harif? I think that was last game. We saw a Harif. And that was...
Oh, Saxa.
There you go, Saxa, yeah. And that's the only Harif I've seen so far that worked in this tournament and qualifiers. Everyone else kind of just falls off a little bit.
Yeah, Saxa's played that twice and has had a really good record with it throughout the qualifier so far. And the Khalid and the Jawhead, when I see that, I see invades. I see, again, aggression. Just like in game number 1. And I think that's going to be Jake the Dog's 1-1 here. He's going to have a lot of work cut out for him because he's going to be the focus here for Empire Monarch. If not him, then I don't know why you would want to try to over-focus the Benedetta. It's going to be really hard to catch. But definitely Empire has the lineup to completely mess up, if not the jungle, one of the side lanes, take control from there, break a turret early, and then you can start roaming around with a dangerous combination.
Your team is banned.
At least finally they remembered to ban out the Brody this time. That was a little risky earlier, so
keep it open.
Just don't leave it open. At least the Brody is such a scary hit or miss hero. So far it has been missing a lot more than it's been hitting, but still retains its ban phase slot, at least for this game. Now, LPE is gonna have a lot of fun if they pick up the Yuzhong, probably. If they pick up something similar to a solid offlane, Lapu Lapu would be even great. What I miss is the Sylvana. What's happening to the Sylvana? It's banned out.
Yeah, it was banned out.
It was banned out.
SV, I think LPE are focus banning the mages here because they want to sort of of course, yeah, take that away as an option here. But Empire Monarch can go multiple routes with this Harith pick.
Yeah.
Right now it's on Very, but then they can swap
Yeah,
that
they can
out.
swap that out. It can go jungle, it can go on your gold laner, but now they do decide that it's going to be jungle by picking up the Cho.
So the mage is going to be the last pick here for Empire Monarch. Won't be surprised. Oh, this mage is going to be so dependent on what these last two picks are going to be for LPE. This is either going to be I think Empire Monarch are still going to eye out the Kagura if they want, but they could still bring in a Veil or a Valier.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what they're going to be more comfortable with. And for Very, what are the mages I've seen him play? Not really much. I've usually just seen him on the far side.
Oh.
So I don't know.
That's an interesting pick if they bring that out. Oh, the Hayabusa as well.
Not bad.
Okay, so this is going to be an LPE quote-unquote tank Diggy, but let's just call him the support Diggy.
Glass cannon as usual.
Yeah. Interesting lineup here by LPE, but something that we've seen pulled out by different teams. Question is, though, can LPE buy enough time for that 1-1?
That's a good question, man. I mean, the early game power they have is just Lo Yi.
Yeah. Maybe the
Hayabusa's not
mid-game.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it, man.
So
I'm predicting this right now to be SV no matter what that last pick is.
Yeah.
This looks like an SV game.
I think it's going to be a Kagura, but please bring out a Veil. Or, okay, if it's a comfort pick, sure. But, yep, that's a lot of damage.
There you go.
That's going to hurt for LPE.
There you go.
He gets some sustain. LPE, they're all melee. They want to get close. Bat's Feast popping up, just like, yeah.
I kind of feel bad for LPE with this lineup. I'll be honest. I don't know how they're going to make this work. It's so difficult to make this lineup work. They don't have early game power. No crowd controls again. Again, they're going to rely a lot on reverse time from a Diggy. Again, not really the best idea. And if they get dove in, how are they gonna fight?
Big question, which honestly is very difficult to find an answer. It's a draft that seems everywhere, as compared to the draft of SV, where everything you can see where the pieces fit. But maybe this is what LPE has in their side, is that the surprise factor, and it is not gonna be a tenacity or a pull yourself together for BMO's Diggy. It's gonna be a magic worship. I think what they're planning to do here is
damage Diggy.
Yeah, they want to play this aggressive because the damage of those alarm bombs hurt and the pullback as well. But a lot of questions still for the LPE draft, Rockhard.
Very, very questionable for me. But again, if this is what they choose to fight for their tournament lives, who are we to counter? We'll have to wait and see if it's effective, though, as we head into game number 2 between LPE, Laos Auto Group Playbook Esports versus SV Empire Monarch.
And how BMO's rotating is like, reminds me of how Burmese schools used their Diggy when it first came out in the upper bracket, except that had a different emblem. This one is really just more damage oriented. And this is going to be BMO taking care of the 1-1 at the bottom lane, but Very walks into a combination by Arv's extension, gets hurt. First blood by Ryota on the Cho.
On the Cho?
Gets outplayed, the execute, secures the kill there for Ryota.
Alright, that's a rare sight to see. A Cho lose out on the early game versus a Benedetta.
Yeah, I think you over-traded.
That's an overcommit, absolutely.
Yeah, but Ryota wasn't even low.
I know.
What happened?
What was that about? I know what you're thinking, man. Anyway, the Aegis will be used up. BMO is going to be alive. Jake the Dog still pretty happy with the kills or the farm he's going to get. It's not easy for SV to push up on this bot lane. So they're going to have to wait for Ubasa and Arlak if they want to do something here. But look at these alarm bombs. Boom! Goes the dynamite, literal star dynamites.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of how, I'm not sure if it was exactly like Diggy picks, but support mages going to the bottom lane or gold lane with their gold laners. Reminds me of something that we saw a little bit of in the early days of the MPL Invitational. So I see the sense now. It is still a scattered draft, but there is logic with what BMO is doing to take care of JTD.
Yeah, and again, great control there from Ambush on the bot side, clearing it with Desert Tornado. You can hit me all day long. I'm gonna regen with a quicksand guard, and he's the perfect hero to actually handle this duo on the bottom.
Yeah, he just has to be careful to not get pulled back like that. And look at the burst. The damage is going to be there. Ambush, quicksand guard. No one's in Empire Monarch will be able to respond.
Yeah, there's no response
He doesn't
anywhere.
have a flicker. He has the execute, and that is what Ambush has to be careful of. He was doing it right, as you said earlier,
But then
he
again-
can't overextend.
Yeah, overextend, misposition. That seems to be the trend here for Empire Monarch. They have an advantageous draft, but they're playing so poorly.
Yeah, and look at that pick off there. BMO and Arves in the middle. Those alarm bombs are hurting from BMO right now. And Empire Monarch need to respect this Diggy. Why is Diggy always the hero that people go to for really strange plays as Arves eats up damage from Ubas and Arlok, popping the Zaman Force, going straight for Arves. The shield is keeping him alive.
That is
the
greedy.
sustain is wild. The AG is not even used, and it's gonna be Ubas and Arlok who gets punished. Lo Yi, me oh my, survives that. How the hell?
I know. This is just what we're talking about, man. They're throwing their advantages onto so misadvised dives and mispositions. I don't know what SB is doing, man.
How did
There's so many things that are happening that should not be happening.
yeah.
And it's weird. It's weirding me out.
It is quite strange. If this is going to be a purple buff fight, Aztec is going to be the one who's able to secure the killing spree here for LPE. Off for Ryota's Benedetta 3-0 right now. Extension could be up next. There's way too much damage coming in from LPE with their backs against the wall on the brink of elimination. They bring out an unorthodox draft that's somehow working.
Working really well so far. And again, mastery of the hero is not even the question, more of the decision making of the team right now for Emperor Monarch. At least LPE now, they're on the fight. This is finally a fighting form for the Eagle.
Yeah, and this is just like wily veteran instincts that we're seeing right now from LPE as they secure that turtle. It is a risky lineup, but they're doing everything right. Meanwhile, Emperor Monarch doing everything wrong. Look at Very almost going down. That Diggy is really proving to be a big problem for all the lanes of Empire Monarch. With the zone out he gets from the reverse time, the alarm bombs as well, the combination, the damage. That again, that's a magic worship Diggy, but he picked up that mask. He doesn't need any damage items. He's hurting a lot in this early game.
Man, this Diggy's MVP material for sure.
Yes,
The
sir.
cancel on the quicksand guard means you're gonna go down as well. And no answer at all from the red side.
Yeah, this is going to be hard for Team SV now. Emperor Monarch as Diggy just picked up a Courage Mask. Gonna empower Jake the Dog's 1-1. Of course, more basic attack. A little bit more damage as well. BMO gets tossed in. That's going to be the Zaman Force committed there. Alarm bombs and the damage. Not enough from LPE, but they're just playing it safely. Sicilian not able to land the Sanguine Claws, but now here comes Ryota. Gets tossed right into very, very, very low and very, very gone. That's unstoppable for Ryota! 5 kills in total and the escape of a lifetime.
He makes it out of that. Oh my god, how? How is this happening? That is just amazing play here. LPE, right decision after right decision. And on the other side, it's exact opposite day. Oh my god.
Aspect has to be careful here. Uses the shadow kill onto Bullwit. Again, extension, getting the Diggy in, but that's a Diggy that has the egg and that has a time's journey. They can't finish off BMO right now. Oh, man. There's like all members of LPE have like 9 lives right now.
Exactly.
Like, at this point.
It's like just no one's going down, no one's dying. Even though, again, LPE are overextending by quite an amount.
Yeah, if you want to talk greedy lineup, this is a hell of a greedy lineup by LPE. They're making it work this time around. It's a flex on Empire Monarch. And then that's going to be a pause. Oh, man. We counted out the Diggy draft, the draft here for LPE. But they are showing us how it's done. Flashes of the early days of the MPL Invitational.
Wow.
And, man, it's working to perfection.
Yep, and the Diggy, which is highly feared by a lot of the pro teams, is definitely showing why.
Mm-hmm.
They're showing us why it is highly regarded. At this point, man, what happened to the guys who had a good breakfast? What happened to the guys that we saw earlier in the last game? They're gone. They're gone from the face of the earth, man.
Yeah, completely surprised.
Empire Monarch, what happened to you guys?
They can't maneuver the heroes that they have. They're just having a hard
They can't move
time.
it. Yeah, they're losing out on lanes. They're dying randomly. Solo kills happening all over the map. It's just something's wrong. I don't know what happened there, but we'll see.
Oh, Arlac takes a lot of damage. He goes down. Ambush goes in with the Raging Sandstorm, but the monster kill is there. This is LPE running wild on SV. That's going to be Cho bringing the top lane tower, but Very could be up next. Jake the dog doesn't decide to commit, so he's going to back off. Ryota has to get back to the vent. Bullwit opening up the map a little bit more here for SV. Something they needed to do, but that's only the first turret down for SV, and LPE has already broken 3.
Yep, and 8 minutes in, it's looking like LPE can do no wrong. Trying to get ready to go for the bottom lane push. And their gold income is just massive right now. Almost 9,000 at the 8-minute mark.
BMO flexing his muscles, showing us how to play that support. Not a tank. He's somewhat like a tank, but he's really just a support Diggy. Throwing those bombs, reversing time, and somehow escaping close call after close call. He only has 1 death. There have been, like, I think 4 or 5 attempts on that Diggy's life, and he's only been taken out once.
And that is just not what you expect here at all from a lineup
Nope.
like this. LPE exceeding expectations. They could go for the finish here. I feel like they have the capacity to do that.
Yeah, I guess you can say that LPE is exceeding expectations.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
And that's a tower for LPE.
Easy
Broken in
tower.
the top lane. Now they're saying thank you to SB instead.
Yeah, 10,000 gold lead. It's not even 10 minutes.
This is crazy.
Like, they're exceeding that 1K per minute lead
Yep.
that we usually compute. That's usually a sign that your team is way ahead. They are way, way, way ahead now.
It's the zoning control provided by Arvs and BMO that's just opening everything up for Aspect, Ryota, and Jake the Dog. SV can't even get close to pinning down the members of LPE. And then the times that they've always been caught out, it's just always been a surprise. They weren't ready for it. And
Well,
let's see if they're going to be ready for this Lord push.
it probably can be, but right now, can they even take down BMO?
Oh, man,
They're getting played by a Diggy, man.
No way!
They're getting played single-handedly by a Diggy.
Again, now Ubasa and Arlag in the middle lane in a very delicate position. BMO somehow survives again. He may be the egg, but it's the brains of SV that's getting scrambled right now.
Well, we all know who's MVP this game.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I mean, Ryota, thank you for the 6-0-1, but it's the Diggy.
Yeah, it's the Diggy, man. Seriously, this guy. BMO. And again, this hero just throws off expectations of the enemy for every time it appears, so not even surprised by that.
Yeah, and now that's going to be the members of LPE going in. Time Journey has been popped. BMO still alive. No, BMO finally down. This could be the turnaround. But SB are having a hard time getting the pin down as Ards goes down. Godlike for Ryota. 7-0-1. Someone's going to go down on the side of SB, and that is going to be Bullwit. Ambush as well. Double kill for the 1-1. 4 down. Jake the Dog is on. Triple kill for him. Tower is up next. And I think this is game. We might see a third one in this series as Aspect and Jake are just gonna finish this up. Extension can just stand and watch. Monster kill for him. Wipeout. And we're just gonna call it now. Rockhart said it. This is gonna be an MVP performance by B-Mode's Diggy.
Well, apparently I stand corrected here in this one.
Yeah, we both do.
I was ready to call it
Wow.
for SV, but man, bad play after bad play after bad play after bad play. I can go on forever with so many bad plays, and everything being done right by LPE turned the tables, and Empire Monarch hold on for tournament life.
It's now back to a best of one for this series, do or die for the next game. And man, I think you really said it best. Empire Monarch were not ready for this Diggy, and they just kept getting thrown off. They were moving as if the Diggy wasn't there, not respecting the alarm bombs and the reverse times, and they paid for it time and time again.
And again, that's just what happens when you have a lineup like this with just damage output all throughout. You have to make right decision after right decision, which is again still the win condition that was fulfilled by LPE, at least with the help of BMO. If BMO didn't perform there, that would have been a completely different story, I think.
Yeah,
And
this is a difficult lineup to
Yeah.
pull off, and they did it.
feels impossible to pull
Yeah.
off. Like even in ranked games, this is gonna be like stomped out. Even in high level mythic, this is gonna be stomped out. Usually,
Usually, but
but
it goes
man,
to show.
goes to show, man.
Special team here, LPE, and still alive in this tournament. Again, they're going to be facing a 2-1 situation. They are still alive in this tournament. Of course, one of the semi-pro teams, I guess you could call them, vying for that slot and one of the favorites to go in. Empire Monarch looked really strong in Game 1. LPE, I feel like they've awakened and hatched from their cocoons, or from their eggs, rather.
Absolutely.
And now, we've said our piece, but I'm pretty sure Midnight is going to explain in much deeper detail. Hopefully, Midnight, please tell us, what the heck did we witness, and how did that BMO Diggy work?
Definitely, the Digi has evolved, pero parang throwback pa rin yung Digi, no? This is one of the most side lane dominant supports that you'll ever see alongside the Lolita, and it has carried LPE through Game 3. Once again, this is Midnight, your analyst for today. And ito importante pag-usapan natin. LPE now has objective-based gaming talaga compared to Game 1. This time around, they can push the turrets while pressuring the objectives of the enemy. And ang downside naman is yung kalaban nila is hindi kagad-agad nakakapag-take ng objectives. They're waiting for the power spike. And the problem is, sobrang resource-dependent ng mga heroes ng Empire Monarch. Now, let's look at the items here, no? Nabanggit ng kasos natin kanina, yung importanteng first item ni Jake the Dog on the 1-1. He bought the Corrosion Sight first before the Demon Hunter Sword. Now, why is that important? If you look at the heroes on the side of Empire Monarch, all of them rely on mobility. Even the Khalid, kahit meron siyang Raging Sandstorm. Kasi if nadikitan ka ni 1-1, you're endangering yourselves to the proc of his ultimate, which is the Crossbow of Thanks. Now, if Empire Monarch tries to fight into the lineup of LPE, they have one problem. Gap close against the Hayabusa and gap close against the 1-1. So as much as possible, you'd want to be in the face of LPE. Kaya sobrang perfect nung first item ni 1-1 na Corrosion Sight. Instead of going for the Demon Hunter Sword to farm and to take out the HPs of Empire Monarch, pahirapan mo lalo yung gusto nilang gawin. That's the reason why every single time that Empire Monarch tries to fight, the LPE always manages to run away. Specifically, yung mga moments, no, yung sa highlights na papakita natin mamaya, si Harith, hindi niya ma-takedown yung target niya. And even other heroes on their side, hindi rin makatakbo. Kahit si Khalid di makatakbo, kahit si Joe di makatakbo, and si Joe nag-aalangan mag-initiate against LPE. And that is one of the conversions dito ng LPE. No? Once they got the advantage, they just continuously pushed the advantage against Empire Monarch. Now, let's look at the highlights para makita natin kung ano yung mga decision-making ng team ng LPE. Now, the first blood was taken by 1-1 on the ball. Actually, the first blood was taken by the Benedetta on the top lane, and then nakakuha ng kill si 1-1 sa may bottom lane. So, immediately setting up LPE towards the success, no, dahil napanalo nila yung kanilang independent lanes. Now, very important is contesting the next power spike of Empire Monarch, which is the Harith. Kapag nakuha na ni Harith yung level 4 niya, as much as possible, you'd want the Harith stop on the tracks, no? Kasi mabilis mag-snowball tong hero to, specifically if you have no heroes that can fight through the Zaman Force. Ganda sana nung hinover ng LPE kanina, which is the Atlas, something that can stop the Harith during his ultimate, pero meron na silang Benedetta. And do take note, Empire Monarch knowingly picked the Harith into the Benedetta, which is a really good matchup for LPE because you can just use your ultimate throughout the Zaman Force. And I actually didn't expect them to pick the Hayabusa into the Digi. No? I was thinking of the possibility na baka i-pull out nila yung Hayabusa Digi, but when the Atlas showed us, sabi ko, okay, sige, mas maganda na to. But they still went with the Hayabusa Digi, and ang naging result nun is nobody on the side of Empire Monarch. As you can see in this fight, walang makalapit dun sa dalawang core, sa Hayabusa and dun sa 1-1, the two remaining heroes left. Why? Even though they have many CCs on the side of Empire Monarch, the Digi's presence is just annoying. Kasi ipapop niya lang yung Time's Journey. Kapag pawala na yung Time's Journey, tsaka gagamitin ni Hayabusa yung kanyang Shadow Kill, and then the 1-1 just freely hits on the back line. That is the main problem of Empire Monarch's lineup. No, they didn't see the possibility na baka mangyari to. That's why the Digi pick worked wonders for LPE. Now, if it was the Atlas, it would have been a different story. This game would, look like a mess of a team fight. Pero nung pinik ng LPE yung Digi, it set them up for success. Now, the hero of the game here for LPE is definitely Ryota. He allowed the snowball to happen for LPE. Getting the first blood on the show, and then amping up the pressure, no? Kasi tuloy-tuloy, sunod-sunod yung movements ni Ryota. He didn't sustain the lane. Usually, ang mga Benedetta, kapag nada-dominate nila yung lane, they like to stay there as much as possible, clear out the minion waves. Then kapag walang hero doon, tsaka sila nagro-rotate. Si Ryota rito, bahala na si Cho. Wala na akong pakialam sa kanya. I've taken him down 2 times. I'm gonna help my teammates. And every single time nako-contest yung LPE ng objectives ng Empire Monarch, even during the purple buff take ni Haret, he was there. He was the one who slowed down the purple buff take and took down the Haret. It's very important for you to realize what's your role in a game, and Ryota fulfilled his every single time. 100% laging kapag kailangan si Ryota, lagi siyang nandun. And siya na rin yung nag-act as a secondary frontline dito, no, aside from the Digi. Nakaka-annoy na nga yung Stars. Meron ka pang iintindihin na Benedetta na sobrang mobile, sobrang taas ng sustain, and sobrang slippery, and that's the reason why Empire Monarch didn't really have a good chance of fighting off LPE. Now, we're on Game 3. Both teams have adjusted towards their key to success. Pero, the question is, sino ang mas lalamang sa Game 3? Yan ang masasagot natin sa Game 3. Casters, back to you.
Thank you, Midnight, for that exciting and absolutely cracking analysis of game number 2. Reptar and Rockhart still here now to call the action for game number 3. Do or die. And which of these two teams do you think has more surprises? Is it just LPE, or is there a part of you that believes that Empire Monarch might be hiding something here, or are preparing something new for us to see?
I believe that LPE definitely just pulled this out of the deepest pockets that they had. I was not ready to predict this lineup whatsoever, but we are getting into the draft soon, and I have to say it worked. It really worked, and there's just no way around that. I like LPS because at least they're consistent with what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Empire Monarch really just let me down hard on that last game. I was really expecting them to really show up with that powerful, that really good lineup actually. But then again, you just see them fail individually.
Yeah.
Is what Manjin and Rob actually mentioned. They failed individually in that game, and there was no cohesion in that last game. So LPE is definitely going to be the favorite still in this one. They're showing their veterancy. They're showing their experience that they've gained through multiple tournaments. And I'm pretty sure they've been to a lot of last game tournament live situations such as this. So maybe they're more used to this than Empire Monarch is.
Yeah, this could be more of just like, it's going to be a battle of character now and a battle of experience. How used are you to being in this situation? How do you respond to being in a situation like this where it's tournament life, MPL qualifiers from 3,000 plus, you're now down to 6. Actually now, if I'm not mistaken, we're down to 5 teams.
Yeah, I think we're down to 5.
Yeah, we're down to 5.
Yeah.
So how are you going to respond to this with a veteran team just surprising you with a completely unorthodox draft that just somehow worked because of one pick? And then of course Ryota's MVP performance of the Benedetta. Empire need to pull out something special here, but LPE at the same time cannot get too comfortable, because as Empire Monarch showed in game 1, they can go along with their movements and they're ready to fight.
Or maybe you mean BMO's MVP performance on the Digi. You misspoke.
Okay,
I forgive you.
Yeah.
So we're getting into this one. Ryota's still very adamant to get this Benedetta. Third Benedetta for him today. Again, not surprising. Not surprising.
It ain't broke, just go for it.
Just go for it, and he's been performing quite okay.
Yeah.
First game, not so much. Second game, absolutely on point. No respect for the dig yet. They don't care about the dig yet. So I like this, at least from Empire Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
They're not overreacting to the dig you picked earlier. And they should start realizing that it can actually be easily countered. That's the reason why it wasn't picked up a lot in M2. Is because there are ways to play around it.
Yeah.
It's not like a 100% scary pick right now. There's no such thing right now in Mobile Legends, right? So,
First pick Claude, Jawhead as well. Question for LPE, will they pick up the Hilda? Something that we saw earlier, give the Claude a really hard time. They can save their tank pick for way later, but I think Empire Monarch is going to see that Hilda coming based on what we saw in the earlier game. But then again, a Hilda isn't something that you just really don't ban out, or it's
really
easily
need to.
forgotten to ban.
because again, you don't need to ban it out. There are a lot of picks that can kind of function the same way without giving away too much. Again, Hilda, after the initial harassment, just isn't that good anymore, and a lot of teams are starting to really recognize that.
Yeah,
You know, so
true.
yeah. There you go with the Wan Wan.
It's gonna be a long game, cause
Pretty similar. LPE not really changing anything up here.
oh, don't tell me they're gonna do it again. Don't tell me they're gonna do
Why
it
not?
again. It worked.
Why not?
Empire Monarch just needs to adjust their movements a bit. I won't be surprised if Empire decides to ban out the Diggy here going into the second banning phase.
Yeah.
The possibility is there. They do have the Jawhead, someone who would want to position themselves in the shrubs, and BMO can again punish that Jawhead, burst him down real quickly before he could even get anyone with an ejector. So let's see how Empire is going to play this. They pick up the Yuzong
Your
this
team
time
is
around.
banned.
Okay.
Let's see how that's going to fare against the Benedetta in lane.
To be fair, it is kind of what you want to pick up against a Vendetta, or if ever the enemy wants to go for something like a Lapu Lapu, it kind of is something that can kind of go toe-to-toe. So, and again, it also deals with a lot of the backline issues that we have with Loyi, where you can't reach the Loyi.
Yeah.
Again, long range on the harassment for the Loyi means that you kind of really need to fly to get her.
Exactly. And now Empire Monarch says, you know what? Not again. We don't want to face it. We'll take out the Diggy.
Yeah.
We've learned.
Learn the hard way. At least now they're going to be a little bit more sure that it's going to be a more standard game.
Definitely.
Or maybe there's something else that LPE is not showing us. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, surprise us, LPE, but
Surprise
Empire
us.
Monarch going after the heroes here for BMO. Team SV are going to be rocking that Claude, so the choices for LPE for later are just going to be that Cho. Mainly just that, really, that they can go for. And Empire decided to take away the Hayabusa, so I
That's
like the
fine.
draft here by Empire Monarch.
I mean,
Again,
they've got a lot of balance this time around.
Yeah,
They've
very
got
balanced.
some people who can do it, who can really crowd control you to hell, and you can also get that Jawhead to go in there.
Yes.
And they got good mid control. They got good side lane control. Just need a pretty good damage mage to set it up. A Eudora. Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say Eudora was gonna work, but it's banned out. Get something similar. There's a lot of similar mage heroes. Valier Veil could work here. Oh, not Veil. Not Valier. Probably Veil.
Yeah,
Probably
Veil
could
more
work.
likely.
But there are a lot of other mages heroes I'm sure that I haven't thought of that Emperor Monarch are thinking about right now.
Yeah. Might eye out the Kagura instead. A lot of teams would rather pick up the Kagura than something along the likes of a Veil or a Valier. They could try to go for the Sicilian
Kagura,
again.
Sicilian?
Yeah, they've shown that it is part of their hero pool, so I think it's just gonna be a preference pick now at this point. All those can affect the battle in different ways that honestly it's to whatever they're feeling right now. Whatever Very is feeling, whatever Very is comfortable with at this moment, that's what they're gonna go for.
Yep. So far I think this is going to be very close though. Brody is a good, again, damage dealer here. Same train of thought here, I think, for LPE. They don't like the hard crowd control anymore. They don't like the AoE crowd control anymore. They just want to go and fight.
Yeah.
So I like that train of thought. Angela is something that we haven't seen for a long time now,
Yeah.
and I'm a little surprised it's here. At the same time, yeah, I'm out. Nothing's gonna surprise me today anymore. I think.
Yeah, right after the Diggy, it's
After
just
that
like,
Diggy, I was like,
yeah, we haven't seen the Angela.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
It's
fine.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
It's not surprising because it's not that impactful.
Yeah, we've been conditioned now by LPE to not be surprised by anything. But yeah, it is an Angela last pick here for Empire Monarchs. And I think their approach for this Angela, or the principle behind it, is that they want to bring that late game that the Claude is looking for a little bit earlier. Because you're going to have an Angelo who can just go on to him, of course, with the Heart Guard, just add to the damage that he can deal out in the before the mid game if he decides to go in with a Blazing Duet. Of course, it won't hurt that much, but having an Angela with you will be able to keep that up. As well as if ever the Hayabusa gets in a difficult position, the Angela's there to help them out.
Yeah, and again, I'm very happy with the with what we have here so far for both teams. Kind of balanced, I would say.
Definitely.
And no one seems to be the wiser out of any of these lineups. So I'm fine. I'm fine with this. Angela's again not going to be as impacting as some of the other picks that we have. Diggy's not going to be an issue anymore, so we have to play a bit more towards the picks now. And Jake the Dog, can he kind of do the stuff that he did earlier?
Oh,
With this pickup,
it's going to be difficult
It's
because
gonna be difficult.
he's way low. I don't think they'll be able to kill him just yet. One more hit and it lands. And who else than Very on the Angelo to take the first blood of the game.
is this a sign though? Is this a sign that the Angel's going to be gunning for that MVP? Who knows? Who knows?
It would be such a huge slap in the face of BMO. They were like,
It really would be, man.
surprise pick. At least I got MVP, but that's going to be Ubas and Arlock in the middle lane, taking a lot of damage from Arvs with a rotation and dispersion combo, but Very's there for the assist. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, extension, giving the info where BMO is right now. Junglers are going to be going back to the buffs to go back on that rotation. Something that we have to watch out for is how is Ryota and Ambush going to handle their duel there in the top lane. Feel like that's going to be one of the keys to victory first. Whoever controls that quicker will be able to secure the win. BMO,
Yep.
bad spot.
Oh, flicker out, but you're still going to be locked in, and you're at Cho. You already used up your Shunpo. Got to be careful. Man, extension surprisingly was a little bit more controlled there.
Yeah, he was cautious.
Usually he would be all in there, but cautious. I like it.
Yeah. And Empire Monarch, I mean, I wouldn't be cautious at this point. Again, this is tournament life. If you lose this, your MPL hopes for this season are done for. Ryota, too late to get there in time as Ubasa and Arlak on the Hayabusa gets to secure the turtle. He's able to farm up easily here. And Empire are going to look to pull on the aggression. And if they smell blood, if they smell a really good team fight, they will take it and punish LPE.
Yep, and LPE are playing this a bit more to their tempo. They're not really forcing the issue on anyone. And that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign for LPE.
Definitely.
Like, if SV or if Monarch isn't pressuring them, I mean, Ryota can just farm, Jake can farm, Aspect can farm.
Oh, extension with a flicker onto the shrub.
But
He
the wrong
finds
target.
Arvs with the throw. Arvs actually was able to find him,
Yeah.
but Empire Monarch not able to secure the kill. Could have been a really good pick-off play there.
So extension through one guy, and then Unstoppable forced another guy.
Yeah.
So that was super disjointed. I don't know what that was about. But again, that is a mechanical misplay right there.
Yeah, if he was able to get that unstoppable force on Arvs instead, I feel like Arvs would be dead by now. But just because I
Again.
couldn't see where he went, but then it was,
Me
it was
too.
one of the
It
two
was
nearby.
There were two bushes nearby. I don't know what the vision looked like, but it was wrong.
Yeah, really close though. Although that was a
Very
good start
close.
there by extension.
Okay, so we are going to see a bit more of aggressive plays here coming in from Empire Monarch. Extension wants to make up badly for that. He's going to be scouting out bot side of the map. Again, Ryota versus Ambush. Yuzhong is more of a match against this Benedetta. Absolutely obvious right now.
And Aspect focusing on the farm right now. He's going to be the key to the victory here for LPE. Batson Arlax is going to be chasing after Ryota. Shadow Kill is going to be there. The an eye for an eye. Able to block some damage coming in from the Shadow Kill. And that's such a powerful skill for any hero here in this game.
It really is. Right now, BMO going to be in trouble here. Great wave dragon into the pit.
Great play.
Will be taking 1 for 1 here. Oh, actually 1 for none. BMO still alive.
He's able to escape BMO. Not on that diggy, but he still has that luck. And now that's going to be Bullwit diving in. And that is space provided actually by Very and Bullwit for the Hayabusa of Arlac to secure the turtle for SV.
Okay, that was not expected at all. I thought right after the kill that LPE would go for it. But they're still holding steady. They're not gonna fight this at all.
Yeah, it seems like they're, dare I say, maybe a little bit too cautious.
Too passive, right?
Yeah, too cautious, too passive right now. And Empire Monarch, the aggression could be really bad for LPE.
Wonder if it's gonna work though, because right now Extension's gonna be in trouble
Whoa.
here. But again, with Aspect on the Brody, you gotta really have a lot of respect for Aspect.
Yeah, good counterplay there, and he deserves your respect with the 2-0 start. Also kills for LPE now on him. That's going to be the talisman picked up there by Ars. Not have to worry about mana. Ryota with the information as to where Arlac and Ambush are. And meanwhile, LPE are going to be focusing their efforts onto the bot lane. With that double marksman, they'll be able to burn down this tower.
Yep, easy tower here. Double marksman setup for LPE.
That was fast.
That was a lot faster than I thought it would be too. So
Yeah.
right now we are going to be a bit more even on the goal. Actually, overtaken by LPE now.
Yep, extension, positioning him. This is going to be a play by both of these two teams. Arlac has that turtle buff. Who's
And
going to
there
go
you
in? There
go.
goes extension. Bullwit as well with a blazing to wet of the Heart Guard. Here comes the rest of Empire Monarch, but LPE smelling trouble. They decide to go under tower, and Empire Monarch, instead of being too sour, decides to go back.
And again, the blazing duet damage is not quite there yet, but
Yeah.
it will be soon. And that's just a little preview of what's going to happen.
Wow. What a play by Ryota. Timing an eye for an eye to stop the ejector of extension, immediately being able to get a stun onto both Arlac and extension. Meanwhile, BMO with a kick there onto ambush. He's able to jump out of there, but he gets pulled back. The vacuum of
boy.
Arv secures the kill, and this time that's another kill for Aspect again, and a turtle possibly for LPE.
So this LPE slowly but surely getting into the groove here. And Turtle will be the next target. 6 minutes, 7 minutes in the game. They look like they're marksmen already, but the steal!
The steal is real!
Oh, Bullwit. How did he do that?
He made that look easy. He doesn't even have
He doesn't even have
retribution.
retry.
Yeah, it's the
What?
Hayabusa.
It's a Hayabusa, man.
Don't tell me Dexter was the one who last hit it.
That was-
turtle.
That-
What just happened, dude?
What? Okay, what happened was Retribution for Aspect was on cooldown.
Uh-huh.
So that's probably a big factor for that. Or did he Retribution too early?
Maybe, but then it just happened.
It just happened,
The cooldown isn't that fast at this point.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there, but
One of
that
the-
should not have happened.
One of the great mysteries of life, but now another mystery and another question is who's going to survive this fight as Jake the Dog goes down, and that's going to be a kill there for Very. The 1-1 is down, and that's going to be another tower for
Oh,
SV.
boy.
Not a lot of kills in this game, but the objectives have been the name of the game. As BMO with the kit, Bullwit going for that basic
Oh
attack,
my
and
God!
he gets to clip Arvs. BMO could be next. SV Empire Monarch are sent back. They're scared of the aspect damage from the torn apart memory. That could have been 3 down for LPE, but that is aspect with the save, but that's still 2 kills for SV.
Man, SV, what are they doing? This is LPE just doing work here at the same time, you know, but they can't deal with the Claude. They don't have any means of reaching that Claude from the back line.
It's really just gonna be, at this point, I feel like the best bet they can go for the Claude is a really timed stun by aspect or choke. That's it. Once you see the blazing duet, kick him or knock him up. Something to really just stop the flow of this Claude here. But that's so difficult to do because BMO has other key targets that he needs to go for.
Yeah,
With the
lots
way of the
key
dragon.
targets. Absolutely. So we're going to have to wait and see whether or not Bullwit is going to be able to make use of this turtle buff. Again, I can't believe I'm seeing this. This guy's got turtle. This guy's got purify. Later, when on the team fight, this guy's got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Exactly. And another turtle is here. It could be another team fight that we're seeing, but LPE is making a play for the tower up top. Ryota's going to be here for the disrupt, and Ryota with the turtle steal. He's going to go under tower. He has the an eye for an eye. He might outplay Ubasa and Arlak, but that's going to be the hard guard. And that is a 1v4, buying time for LPE to break the second-tier tower in the top lane.
Again, they bought a lot of time. Ryota definitely... We see now why he keeps picking up this guy, this hero, this Benedetta. That was scary. He could have gotten the Hayabusa. They could have gotten Arlak.
Wow. Ryota just made this an even... gave LPE just a small lead now. Maybe extending their lead even, because that's a 3-tower advantage right now for Laos Playbook Esports. Meanwhile, Empire Monarch, they're having a hard time controlling the map right now. They have the lineup for it, but they just can't. It seems like they're looking for turnarounds via team fight or pickoff. Which
is unlikely, right? I mean, LPE don't play really smart here, but so far they're going to have to go in and play hard as well.
And Bullwitch ready to the back. Aspect really low. Torn apart. Memory not able to deal enough damage there. A kick from BMO onto Ambush. Ambush trying to find the members of LPE. Trying to get close, but he cannot. He's zoned down. No one has gone down except for Extension. And now Arlak down as well. This is a losing fight here for SV and LPE. The wily veteran instincts coming into play here for Playbook.
Big props to Monarch, absolutely, for at least keeping Bullwit alive. But right now, LPE's game plan here is working. Their double marksman lineup is starting to really take shape here. And 2 against 1, that is not a fair ground.
Yeah, and Bullwit decided to go for more sustained items. That's a Wind of Nature and
Queen's
Wings. He only picked up the Demon Hunter sword. But usually at this point you would see a lot of the Golden Staff. Yeah.
Weird options. Again, it's more of survivability. He just does not want to die.
Yeah, but he has an Angela with him.
I know. It's overkill, to be honest. But at this point, can you blame him? Because at moments like that, when you get killed off with the Angela Heart Guard, I mean, you can kind of see what he means.
Yeah, Ryota cutting the wave there, or cutting the path of the rest of Empire Monarch. Very gone.
Oh man, LPE, they're starting to get ready for the grand finale of taking down Empire Monarch. They just have to play this clean, and they can do this. Absolutely.
Yeah, they can actually do it right here. They just need to manage the minion waves. Someone has to stand to the bottom lane as the Lord marches up top. They're going to send Ryota's Benedetta to go for the split push. They're going to see a 4-man. Most likely, there's going to be a 4-man commitment into the top lane as we're looking at BMO right now walking down mid. But no, LPE says we're sending our 4 to mid. And it's going to be up to Empire Monarch to decide to defend the top lane from the Lord.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a walk in the park for LPE, but it sure as hell is not gonna be hard. Oh, the pick off Bebo!
What a play! The flicker, Jeet Kundo knock up onto 2, secures a kill onto Arlak, and this could be the end of Empire Monarch. And torn apart memory has been used right now, and the members of SV can just stand and watch as LPE are taking out their towers one by one.
Well, for the last diversion play, I don't know where they're going. They're going to the bot side. And they are...
Oh,
that's a huge swing!
Oh man, another knockup by BMO! And this could be it! 2 back-to-back knockups from the Cho, giving the opportunity to LPE. Bullwit with a blazing duet, but that's it! LPE are going to secure their slot still here in the qualifiers. They're still fighting, but Empire Monarch are going home.
That was an amazing performance again from LPE.
Woo!
Literally sticking to the game plan, hold on, and not die. And they took almost no risk in the early game.
Yep.
Because of that, they paid off in the mid to late game. I can't believe it did, but it did. And that's just amazing.
The patience, and again, hopefully BMO gets the MVP this time. He gets the MVP in the stats. He
Please,
should get
please,
it.
BMO.
Two
This
crucial
guy,
knockups. Wow.
seriously, this guy can do no wrong at this point. And if you don't give him MVP, I am going on strike. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's absolutely bonkers. 109? That's not even a problem, man.
Yeah, and look at that. He picked up the blade armor just to annoy Bullwit. And I feel like we talked about this earlier. The itemization for the Claude. Yes, he's going for the sustain, but dude, you already have the Angela with you. Pick up the golden staff and then maybe go for the Queen's Wings or the Wind of Nature.
This is one of the rare times when we see a marksman excessively build up defensive items and then forget that you're basically the main damage dealer here
Yeah.
for Empire Monarch.
Yeah, and Claude's kit depends on the basic attack speed. Of course, the Art of Thievery, Golden Staff really empowers the Blazing Duel. I think what he was going for is something close to the idea behind the Brody and his tank items and just one damage item. But that's a Brody.
That's a Brody.
It's a completely different kit.
I can't believe I'm saying this, man, but Empire Monarch, they just overplayed their hand at this point. And at this point, I'm very glad to announce, guys, that LPE is going to be going on top.
Yep, they are still alive in this tournament, but a lot of questions in this game can be answered by midnight.
Thank you so much, casters. Yes, it was a greedy lineup from Empire Monarch. Honestly, it could have worked with a different approach on the game. And yan, yung i-breakdown natin dito sa ating analysis segment. Welcome. And once again, my name is Midnight, and I will be your solo analyst for today. And i-breakdown natin yung mga yung mga nangyari from earlier to the from earlier parts of the game to the late game. Now, very big concern dito is yung greediness ng lineup. Honestly, again, this could have worked. Claude was was using the support emblem na may avarice na makakakuha siya maraming gold. And at one point in the game, siya yung pinakamayamang hero sa buong game. But there's just a slight problem. Sobrang nag-focus sila sa Claude and having Claude survive on the fights na nagkulang na sila sa ibang department. Number one, it's the damage. Makikita natin actually yan sa items ng mga players na ipapakita natin sa screen in just a bit. Actually, ito na nga. And if you look at the itemization here on the side of Empire Monarch, number one concern is after the Demon Hunter Sword, he went straight for the Queen's Wings and then Wind of Nature. Ang idea naman dito is, okay, magsusurvive tayo sa team fight and then we will just win against LPE. But the main problem that they have is kulang talaga sila sa damage. The first item that the Hayabusa built was the Heptasis. It's a good item, pero they could have definitely followed up with a Blade of Despair, no, para may patong na additional damage. On the Yuzong, again, another sustained item. Instead of after the Queen's Wings, he went for the Blade of Despair. Ang ginawa niya rito is Bloodless Axe, Queen's Wings into Dreadnought Armor. So kukulangin talaga at some point. And bakit sinabi na sobrang daming focus kay Claude dito sa game ng Empire Monarch? Kasi for the longest time, yung team fight nila nagre-revolve around Angela jumping into Claude to help him out on these team fights. And naging non-factor si Hayabusa. If you think about it, every single fight na nakuha ng Empire Monarch was started by the Claude and the Hayabusa coming in as reinforcement. Hindi yun yung ideal scenario for LPE. Now, on the side of LPE, sobrang ganda naman ng itemization nila dito. Ryota with two sustain items first before building up the Bloodless Axe and the Queen's Wing. Sabi niya, kailangan ko lang naman i-sustain yung early game onslaught ng Empire Monarch. And at one point in the game, BMO was holding 1 Dreadnought Armor and 3 Leather Jenkins, building up to the Antique Kiras and Blade Armor. Now, this was really perfect for BMO. It added to the layer of sustain and tankiness of this lineup of LPE, while Team Empire Monarch, although they did have Antique Kiras on Johet, it doesn't really work that good compared to the Antique Kiras on Cho, kasi Brody tsaka 1-1 yung kalaban mo. Now, let's look on to the highlights of that specific game. 4 kills lang yung nakuha in total ng Empire Monarch. Do take note of those 4 kills, no? Sa early game, actually, Empire Monarch, they were doing really, really well. They managed to find the first blood onto the 1-1, but after that, it was just LPE. Sila yung nakakaharap ng maneuvers dito, and yung Empire Monarch nagre-responda lang sa ginagawa ng LPE. This was because of BMO's movements on the map. This is the main problem that Empire Monarch faced. Hindi nila masyado na-utilize yung Jawhead ni extension. Now again, meron na ng 2 kills yung Empire Monarch dito. No? Do take note of those 4 kills kasi dun nyo lang makikita yung mga engagements na naipanalo nila. It was all started by the Claude being helped by the Angela. Yes, they could have definitely gotten a momentum for that. Pero masyado sila nag-focus si Claude. Nakalimutan nila mayroon silang Hayabusa. Si Claude naghihintay pa ng items yan. And if it was a different approach, kung puro damage item yung binuo ni Claude, no? Like for example, after the Demon Hunter Sword, he went for the Golden Staff into Queen's Wings, then possibly a Corrosion Sight, or kung gusto niya dagdagan yung sustain niya, pwede siyang bumili din ng Athena's dito, then it could have worked. Pero bumili siya dito ng Queen's Wings into Wind of Nature. So yung moment na active sana si Claude, na nasa kanya yung momentum, nasa kanya yung lead, ay na-underutilized din kasi bumili siya ng sustain item. So bumalik lang yung momentum sa side ng LPE kasi sila pa rin naman yung natural aggression, Pero the thing is, it's still a Brody. May Brody pa rin ng LPE, and Aspect on that game built a Blade of Despair. So mas mataas ang damage output ng LPE for the entirety of the mid game. That's why even though with the Angela, hindi masyado naramdaman ng LPE yung pressure ng lineup ng Empire Monarch. And again, the man of the hour is BMO on that show. The movements that he made on the map allowed LPE to play around the timings of Empire Monarch. Again, hindi masyado nagamit ng Empire Monarch yung kanilang jawhead on extension because BMO has always been looking for potential pickoffs. And that's backed up by his friends. No? LPE did not really shy away from playing very, very aggressive. Sabi nila, Claude tsaka Hayabusa, yan ba tayo matatakot? Kahit may mamatay sa atin, fine. Let's take the trade kasi we can snowball out of this. Remember, they did have the Brody. Pagdating ng mid-game, the power spike for Brody would be much, much greater compared to the power spike of Empire Monarch. Isang item lang, parang dalawa yung meron ka. Because of the pass of the Brody, it's how it works. Once you get that Blade of Despair, suddenly the damage output of this lineup is increased greatly. And that is the reason why LPE won that game. It's because of the timings, the execution, and the understanding of how the momentum works. Of course, it's also the mistakes that Empire Monarch has committed, but kudos to them for being able to pull out this kind of strategies and this kind of performance, even against LPE. Now, we're down to the final 4 teams. So tulungan na kita man, Jean, 4 na lang ang natitira, and titignan natin kung sino pa ba ang mag-a-advance at kung sino na ang makakapasok ng MPL.
A big question there because yes, as Midnight said, we are down to the 4 teams. And before anything else, again, watch out for the QR codes that are going to be showing up throughout the stream. Help us improve the MLBB experience for you by entering that QR code survey. Scan the code on the stream. Tell us what you want to see on the broadcast. And you can also provide us feedback and content suggestions, Rockhard.
That's right. Very happy to announce that there are only 4 remaining. Although, again, we will have to update our brackets, which they will see in a few moments. This is the current journey of our team so far.
Oh, man. Really, really close. We've seen 8 teams. Now we only see 4. 4 are gone. Work and Archangel is going to be our next match. And whoever wins that will qualify for the MPL. Meanwhile, whoever loses that will go down to the lower bracket where they will wait to see who will win between Aether Main and Playbook Esports.
This is going to be interesting, right? Because, again, LPE, both of these guys, LPE has actually been playing ever since. So we're going to have a lower bracket match up next. So apparently they're not going to stop playing anytime soon. So
yeah.
LPE already warmed up. I don't know what kind of effect or impact that's going to have on their gameplay. Whether or not they're going to be a little bit tired or they're going to be a little bit more